What's up? Welcome into your daily Buckeye Blitz for a thirsty Thursday, December 28th, 2023. Getting ready for this Buckeye game, the Cotton Bowl. Cotton picking bowl. Getting geared up. This is a real opponent. This is one of those matchup games that Ryan Day talks about and Jim Knowles talks about. Talent equated, This is a respectable SEC team that just had 10 wins this year. So winning 10 games in that conference, respectable. I was going to run through who they beat here real quick on their schedule. K-State, they beat 30-27. They were ranked at that time. Memphis, Vandy. LSU, they lost by 10. And that was a home game for Missouri. But then they beat Kentucky by 17, beat South Carolina by 22, lost to Georgia by a touchdown, and then crushed Tennessee, who was ranked, beat Florida in a close one, and then crushed Arkansas. So these guys are actually on a bit of a hot streak, beating Tennessee, Florida, and Arkansas in their last three games. So this is a legit opponent. I don't know. A lot of you guys watch college football besides the Buckeyes, and you probably know that already, but I just wanted to point that out. They had a 36th ranked strength of schedule in the country. That's not screwing around. So, and you heard my rundown there of their last three. Jesus Christ. So anyways, let's talk about the Missouri offense here going against the Buckeye defense. Running through the stats, Missouri actually has more yards per play, a 6.5 on offense versus Ohio State's 6.3. Missouri puts up 0.497 points per play. They run the ball 54% of the time, and so run heavy-ish, but then they still have weapons on offense. And third down conversions, they're about 43%. Red zone scoring, though, they score 100% of the time. So that's could be field goals or touchdowns there. So looking at this offense, Brady Cook is their quarterback. He's put up, he's almost 800 plays this season. So let's look at his stats here. Stats, thank you. And passing. All right. So Brady Cook, almost 3,200 yards passing, 20 touchdowns, 6 picks, takes good care of the ball. Does not get sacked a lot either. Let's see, he doesn't put the ball in harm's way. He only has 10 turnover-worthy throws on the entire season. Is a victim of drops, just like the Buckeyes were. He's put up with 17 drops from his receivers, and so you feel bad for him about that. I hate that shit. Anyway, completion percentage 66% on the season. That's legit. And like I mentioned, those last three games against Tennessee, Florida, and Georgia, he really did well, especially throwing the ball. He graded out a 70, 67, then a 62 against Arkansas. They didn't have to throw the ball in that one. They ran the shit out of it. But threw for 330 against Florida. That's respectable. Against LSU, Cook threw for 411. Against Georgia, 212. Did have 2 picks against them, 2 picks against LSU. So against the tougher defenses, he will turn the ball over and will not push the ball downfield much. Against Tennessee, put up 275, but again, against Arkansas, only 112. So I respect this guy's game. He'll take off and run with the ball. And let's check his rushing here. So yeah, he put up 343 yards rushing, 8 touchdowns, but he did have 5 fumbles. So got to take care of the ball when you're going to run the ball. Against South Carolina, ran the ball 10 times. Georgia 4 times for 52 yards. So he can be a threat, and you're going to need to either spy him or have your linebackers looking in the backfield at all times to make sure he's not taken off, and he'll get some yards after contact. He had a nice, what was that, 5-yard average against South Dakota, 2.7 against Tennessee. So he'll force some missed tackles. He had 6 of those on the season. So, and then the running game. Let's talk about the running game here. Cody Schrader, the tailback. Let's pull up his stats here. 5'9", 214. This guy was like a Division III player at one point. Transferred up and has just produced, man. Number 7 is his number. He's almost put up 1,500 yards just rushing alone, 13 touchdowns, only 1 fumble on the season. But check this out. This is the number that blew my mind. 45 forced missed tackles. 45, dude. Trey has like a dozen on the season, maybe 15 at the most, but 45 is legit. Yards after contact is no joke. 3.18 yards after contact. So when you wrap him up, he's falling forward for a couple, 2, 3. So this kid's legit. I really like his running style. And he's a banger. He's not huge, like I said, 5'9", 214, but he's got moves. And receiving, he only has 21 receptions on the year for under 200 yards, so not a huge threat there. But I really like this guy. I do want to check his pass pro numbers here, his grades. Ooh, pass pro is not so good. On the season, he graded a 54 in pass protection, and he's a little undersized, so that's probably why at 5'9". Against Arkansas, graded a 24.9. Over the entire season, he's allowed 7 pressures, a sack, a couple hits, 4 hurries. So, he was like 22 versus Kentucky, 42 versus Tennessee, 51 versus Florida, 21 versus Memphis. So pass protection is his weak spot, and you gotta exploit that, if you're a Buckeye defender. So Luther Burden, we'll talk about their receivers here real quick. Let's check his numbers. Receiving. Okay. Luther Burden here, 117 targets, 117. Wow. Had 83 catches, almost 1,200 yards, a 14-yard per average per catch, 8 touchdowns. Guy does it all. He's a threat at all times. Graded out really high against Arkansas, Florida. Even did well against Georgia, really, 63. South Carolina, 75. LSU, a 76. Vandy, 81. Memphis, 94. K-State, 82. This guy's a stud and does it from all over the field. He lines up out wide occasionally. Most of the time he does his damage from the slot. So that's what she said. And only has 4 drops on the season. I wish a Buckeye receiver only had 4 drops on the season. Contested catches, yeah, he made 13 of those, and no fumbles. Did have 20 forced missed tackles. Another guy that forces missed tackles, that's respectable. So this guy is going to be their go-to guy. They're going to run the ball and try and hit Burden for some shots. He's only 5'11", 208, but that size, he can go up and get the ball. So we'll see what they do on the offensive side there. Looking at their, let's see. Oh, yeah, Burden was the number 2 receiver in that 2022 class out of East St. Louis. He's a St. Lunatic. If you know, you know. Let's look at Missouri's blocking grades from their old linemen. The tackles are solid, excellent run blocking, and good pass blocking. Javon Foster, he's number 76. He graded out an 81 on the season at pass blocking. Up the middle, this is where they get a little weak against the pass. 65 for the center, but we can't say much. Our fucking center sucks too. The other guard, Xavier Delgado, he's number 72. He's a 69, nice, and in pass pro. And Armin Membu, number 79, he's the other tackle. He graded out a 77 against in pass pro. So tackles are solid. Up the middle, a little weaker. The other guard, Cameron Johnson, he graded out a 53 in pass pro. So again, a little soft up the middle. That's probably where you want to attack. Get Tyleek and Mike Hall, on those guards and centers and let them go to work. So run blocking, though, Foster, I mentioned number 76, the tackle is an 86. The center's an 82. Delgado, the guard, is a 71. The other tackle, Membu, number 79, he's a 63 in run blocking, so a little softer there on that side. And then the guard, Johnson, is number 74, and he graded out a 72 in run blocking. So as far as pressures go, Cameron Johnson, the guard I just mentioned, that has the 53 in pass pro, he has 16 pressures on the year, allowed 2 sacks. And he's the most penalized. He has 11 penalties. So look for Cameron Johnson, number 74, to possibly get a penalty here. We'll see what he can do and see if those Buckeye edge rushers can get through these tackles. Let's see what else here. Let's flip it over to the Missouri defense going against this Buckeye offense. Missouri's defense, not as good as the Buckeye defense. They give up 5.3 yards per play. Opponent completion percentage, they allow 63% completions. Third down conversions, they allow 51%. Sorry. For comparison, the Buckeye defense is at 27. Red zone scoring, they allow 83%. So this is a mediocre defense overall. Now, they do have some guys that are going to miss the game with injury, not opting out. Their coach, Drinkowitz, says that they're going to be without linebackers Tyron Hopper and Chad Bailey, and then cornerback Enos Rakestraw. Hopper is second on the team in tackles with 55. He has 3 sacks and 3 pass breakups and 6 quarterback hurries. Rakestraw had 35 tackles, 4 PBUs, and a forced fumble in only 9 games. And then Chad Bailey, he hasn't played since October 14th, so he's been out with a long-term injury there. So really what it comes down to is this D-line, I think, against this Buckeye O-line in both pass and run effectiveness. Now, Missouri's D-line, their edge rushers, can get some serious pressure. Darius Robinson, he's number 6, has 36 pressures on the year, 8 sacks, and a bunch of hits and hurries on the quarterback. Johnny Walker, my guy, Johnny Walker Black, has 30 pressures, 7 sacks, a couple hits, and a bunch of hurries. Then you got Josh Landry, number 90. Walker is number 15. Landry is an interior guy. He has 19 pressures on his own and a sack. So the Hopper we mentioned, he's going to be in the Hopper. He had 3 sacks we mentioned. Then their other interior D lineman has 17 pressures. He's Rellis George Jr. And then Niles Gaddy, he's another edge rusher with 15 total pressures. So these guys can get after the quarterback, especially their starting edge rushers. Something that you're going to have to watch, especially going against Josh Fryer. Let's look at his grades here. On the season, Josh Fryer graded out well, but he gave up 12 pressures and led the team in allowing 5 sacks. So that's not good. That's way too many. You can't allow 5 fucking sacks from a right tackle. Donovan Jackson, 10 pressures. Carson Hinsman up the middle, leading the team with allowing 17 pressures, 6 hits on the quarterback. Josh Simmons, 12 pressures. Like I mentioned, 12 for Josh Fryer, so both tackles have allowed a dozen pressures. Matthew Jones and Donovan Jackson allowing some pressures, only 1 sack between them, though. And your pass pro is going to really be tested here with the young guy, Dallin Hayden, you know, hasn't played a lot this year. 4 games. Yeah, 4 games. So he needs to work on his pass pro. He graded out an 18 on the season in pass pro. Now, limited snaps. He was only in on 12 pass blocking snaps, but those didn't go so well. So Trey's a solid pass pro guy, graded out a 68 on the season, you know. So run blocking grades. Carson Hinsman, terrible at that too. He was 41 against in pass pro, 55 run blocking. Josh Simmons, 64 run blocking. Fryer, 77 run blocking. Donovan Jackson, 66 run blocking. Matthew Jones, a 71. So middle of the road, should be much better. But obviously the weak spot is right up the gut with Carson Hinsman allowing pressure. So that's my concern. We'll see if we can hold off their edge rushers. Josh Fryer on that right side is going to be a weakness, and we're going to have to get him some help over there with a tailback helping out. So, yeah, with them missing three of their two linebackers and a corner, that does not help them at all. But their guys, their defense is solid too. I mean, Dalen Carnell, safety, he's number 13. He's the most targeted with 56, but he's okay in coverage. He graded out a 75 on the year. And then the corner, number 7, Chris Abrams-Drain, graded out an 89 on the season. He was targeted 50 times, only allows a catch 50% of the time, and only 4 touchdowns allowed, had 4 picks. So number 7 is their corner. He's going to probably cover a Mecca, most likely. And then the safeties are okay. They're good. Number 1, his name's Carlis. He's a 67. Their other safety, Carnell, I mentioned earlier, was a 75 in coverage. So this is going to be a challenging passing defense to go against, especially for a first-time starter with Devin Brown. So hopefully they can get him comfortable with some short, intermediate stuff. He's got to be accurate with the short, intermediate routes. You know, get the chains moving here, get a few first downs, get comfortable. Obviously, hammer them with the run game and keep them off guard here, and let's run it down their throats eventually, and let the deep ball fly occasionally. You know, Ennis, Tate. Let's see. Everybody says that Devin Brown throws a great deep ball in practice, so let's see that a handful of times. You know, maybe we can complete that, but. Yeah, once you get past this starting corner and secondary, they get a little thin when it comes to their coverage grades. So that's got to be the ticket, right? So we'll see what the Buckeyes can do. See what they can muster up here on Friday night. Don't forget, we're going live Friday, tomorrow, game day, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Be here. And tomorrow I'll also be doing my 5 keys to a Buckeye victory. So that's all I got for you. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Bucks.